Hello there, Annalena here. I'm back doing another video. It's been a while. So many things have happened, but I've been wanting to do this video for quite some time. And I have named this video Financial Collapse and Abundance. So if you haven't seen any of my videos before, I just shortly want to tell you that I am a twin flame. I met a person 7 years ago who introduced me to this kind of connection. Just very shortly, I know there have been made many videos about what a twin flame is. So this is just probably to add to all those explanations that it is a connection that vibrates at the highest level. I'm not sure I can say it's the highest level, but at a very, very high level of love and fun and joy and happiness and union and yeah, just a state of being that it feels as if you're home, like there's not a worry in the world. So that is what this twin flame connection represents, and it's being introduced to most of us through meeting another person. Um, so that this my understanding today is that this connection represents your connection to God, to who you are, to your own divine being of love and light and happiness, and just feeling that from within. So that was just a few words about this twin flame connection. Anyway, due to the situation on this planet today, uh, there are many people who are now facing financial collapses, challenges. My heart goes out to each and every one who is almost maybe overnight without a job, without an income, and you still have bills that you need to pay, rent for your house, apartment. I think my heart goes especially out to those of you who have little children and that you need to provide for. And maybe you're in a situation where you're hoping, expecting, or you actually have received some help from the government. They are coming up with some large sums of money these days. But being a twin flame, I have gone through pretty much a collapse in every possible side of my life, and one of the collapses was a financial collapse. And I just want to talk about this. I just hopefully maybe someone can recognize or say, "Oh yes, that's what it's like," or "I know that feeling." Um, and my situation today is that I uh, I do not have my own home, and I do not have my own car. I uh, okay, I have to cheat. I have no debt. That's, I do not own anyone, any money or anything. And my earthly belongings, after I have moved so many times, is down to what can fit into a rather small car. That's what is left, and it's now being stored in Denmark. I'm presently in Norway in my mom and dad's house. Uh, so that is my situation right now, and I am working like teaching one class. Um, so that's a part-time job, and I do write books and audiobooks, and I have some income coming in from them, so that I can pay my bills. So, how on earth did this happen? Okay, well, um, I'm gonna make it short because there are many people out there who share similar stories, but I could see how things were going after I had a major stress collapse. I was on a sick leave, and the thought of going back to work, the thought of going back into that hamster wheel, it was just, it felt as if I simply couldn't do it, and that I will just face another collapse, uh, and I have had. I've lived in Denmark for many years, and I have my parents in Norway and some family. So, and my dad was getting older, and things actually worked out really well, so that it coincided with the big plan that we don't see down here. The big plan was I'd go home and I'd be here and help my mom with my dad and stuff like that. So I I left my home that I was renting at the time, and I gave away my car, and people, just the things I had, it just went really smoothly. Some people needed it, and they got it, and yeah, um, and I could store some of my things. And moving back to Norway, I could take out my pension, which was my savings, and I spent those money to publish a children's book that I have written, and doing all the possible research I thought I could do uh, for the libraries in Norway to buy those books, but that did not happen. So almost overnight, I that plan just did not, it just didn't happen, and it came with a just a huge surprise, and almost overnight a situation where I had no money, and I had no money coming in from anywhere, and so I was on the phone trying to get a job, just like very short notice job, um, and that didn't happen. So I applied for unemployment benefit, and I got a letter that where uh, that did not come through. I was not entitled to that because there were some many pages with some rules of this and that, and because I've lived in Denmark and blah blah blah. And then I realized, wow, I have nothing, no money coming in from anywhere. And emotionally, I went into a state where I felt like I zero. I felt like nobody. I felt as if there was no support from anywhere, and that basically the whole world would just watch me, watch me become homeless, and not give a damn. That's how it felt, And basically, that's not true. I know that's not true, but it was the feeling, and I know, and then um, my mom helped me for a while. I live here without paying rent, uh, and I can also borrow the car if I need it. So that's a huge help. And when that happened, I went for quite a few walks in nature just to breathe, come back into myself, come back into my body. Just being in nature is always huge healing opportunity. Um, and after a while, I got work in a kindergarten, oh, which was very interesting and very lovely. And I love little children, absolutely. But because being as sensitive as I am, as I have become, as I have more or less probably always been, um, it was just too hard. Like the noise, I could do the physical work, but the noise was just, you know, getting to me. So I did that for a few months, part time, um, and so that I could provide for myself. Luckily for me, was that my children were then so big that they had their own incomes. So I did not, in the midst of all this, I was not did not have to provide for them. And but we had the dog, of course, and it was getting old, and I whenever the dog needed to go to the vet, I go, oh no, what is this going to cost me? So and but somehow along the way, strangely enough, every time, and it's been quite a few times, I've had a bill. I knew it was coming, and I had to pay it. For strangely enough, it the solution always came, and even if it was, sometimes it would be like 1 or 2 pounds or dollars left on my account when the bills were paid, and I was going, yes. And okay, um, then two of my really good friends, they started an ice cream shop, and I was part of that, and we started it, and it became the biggest success ever, and we worked so hard to get it all started, and the ice cream was Italian ice cream, special recipes, and that was just a huge success. But of course, since I cannot plan anything in my life, I nearly hit the wall again. Luckily, I was at the point then where I could recognize that my body was starting to, the stress was just rampant in my body, and I had to quit. And 2 weeks before I quit, I told my friends, I might have to quit. I cannot do it anymore. And I don't need to go into details, but there were so many people coming through that ice cream shop and that place. But it was a great experience. But I had to withdraw. I would not have managed to stay there. So that's just another example of being such a stunning success on this journey. So anyway, alongside with these part-time jobs, this full-time job, I have been continued to work on my writing, and I've made some videos on my twin flame journey, and I have made some audiobooks, and I have there's some money coming in there. So And then I've been going back and forth to between Norway and Denmark. And last summer, our dog died, and I have made a video where I ended up in a sofa for a week watching near-death experiences. And I had that first glimpse of the love of Jesus, and that's just, yeah, that's just wonderful. So anyway, these trials and tribulations, it's not, it's definitely not funny, but what can you do? What can you do? So then I was once again faced with the lack of money, and again another round of stress. So since I've been living in Norway now for 3 years, I got to the point where I could join like a club applying for jobs and get some unemployment benefits from taking that course. But there was not room for me on that course, and once again, I was not entitled to receiving any unemployment benefits. So I was in the office talking to that social worker, and I just started to cry. It was as if it got to the point where it was just too hard. And that feeling that you're on your own, right? And she informed me that I could. She told me, "Oh, they're so used to people breaking down and crying down at that office," and she told me I could apply for like the lowest support, like the that the government can give, and I could apply for that, and they might want to ask to see my bank account. And and I was a little surprised, and she said, yeah, that it would be easiest that way, she said. But because I was crying, I was so sad, and I thought, yeah, whatever. That they could see my bank account, and they could see that, well, I haven't been to the dentist the past 4 years, and I don't, spend at all because there's nothing there. And the times I've been to the hairdresser these past 4 years can also be counted on one hand. Talk to the hand. Talk to the hand. So anyway, once again, just, yeah, you're looking at a stunning success. Yeah, yeah, really. Then what happened was that I got this job as a teacher, teaching one class. I'm back teaching one class, and they asked me if I could do more. And because I was purging, I was going through trauma. I have the trauma from the stress collapse from teaching more than full time was still active in my body, and I'd feel sick even. So I said no to more. I said I can do this one class, and I can, and I have. And now that because of the coronavirus, I'm teaching from home. So yeah, that's basically the situation. And I've been wanting to do more videos. And now I realize, wow, I've gone through these financial challenges, I have to share them with the people. So, where am I today? I started this video by saying that I have no debt, I have no home of my own. I'm really, really looking forward to getting one, and a little car, and who knows, maybe another dog. We don't know. We'll see. And I have again this connection. I bring it back to the connection, not with the person that is my twin, but the connection to the divine. That is what this journey is all about. It's about your own connection to the divine. I was once again on my knees in prayer, literally on my knees, praying for release, praying to be set free, praying for my body to be released from stress, praying and praying and praying to be released mentally, physically. And it helped. That prayer, it helped. It changed something. And I would like to go into some more spiritual stuff, what happened in connection with that. A dream, I was in the cosmos and I was floating above the crystal city, and I could literally almost feel that the energy from the crystals, it I'm not saying it filled my body, but it was there. And I'm just thinking there's huge potential there for the human race, for all of us to have the strength and the power of the crystal within us. Like, yeah, that's more spiritual stuff. And I'm going to end this video soon, but I want to mention something, and that is I answered the question because a friend of mine invited me to join a course which is called 21 Days of Abundance, and one of the questions were, what does abundance mean to you? So today, abundance to me, it means a lovely warm bed to sleep in, roof over my head, a lovely home where I can stay. That's abundance. Good, healthy, nourishing food. That's abundance. Being with uplifting people. I'm not saying I'm not going through. I am in the midst of going through many processes and getting new insights all the time. So it's like that when you stay with family, but it's wonderful. But back to abundance, having my needs met, being able to buy a wonderful present to a friend or a family member. Abundance is joy. Abundance is to feel worthy, and abundance is to have my needs met. I'm so looking forward to start creating my own home and work from there, and having lovely people in my life. That's abundance. So, and one day I'll travel again, I'll go somewhere. That would be abundance too. To go to Hawaii, I've been there once. I've been 3 times in Peru. To go there again, wow, that would be abundance. So, abundance to me, money is the means to having a home and a car and good food. But on this journey, um, it's been an abundant journey after all. So I'm sending you so many blessings. I know I've spoken about it earlier that I want to start offering sessions, also maybe one-to-one, maybe also in the future group sessions. I'd love that. I'd love to create a group energy together with like-minded people, people on the journey. But it's not quite yet. It will come with my own home. So, infinite blessings and love to you. Take care.